Similes and Metaphors, Episode 3. Welcome back to Beats of the Heart, Lyrics of the Soul. This show, Similes, Metaphors, Wordplay, and Lyrics, is all about showcasing sick bars, breaking them down, and finding their meaning, and the story behind them. If you haven't seen episode 1 or 2, watch them now by clicking on the top right-hand corner of the screen. In this episode, I brought some select bars from a few select songs. We will start off with a few bars from Hopsin, who I introduced in episode 1. I'll move on to some Talib Kwali of Black Star, and then I will finish this episode off with a few more bars from King Iso. So these first lines from Hopsin come from the Simon Says Freestyle. So first, he gives us these lines.
Yeah, niggas better lay low. I swear this ain't no game, bro.
Nice line and delivery, and referring to the rap game as serious and not really a game. And then he gives us this.
Asking for blessings won't prevent you from being preyed on.
I love the wordplay in this line. Asking for blessings, so in turn praying, won't stop Hopsin from preying on you. I love the wordplay he uses with the pray and prayed, and the blessings, and how he switches it around. And then he gives us these lines.
See, I ain't underground like commercial. I'm in the gray zone.
Hopsin himself is somewhat underground. He does have a cult following and is known in the mainstream, but he gets no respect from the mainstream. And then with these lines.
I had bars back when Verizon was making payphones. Niggas say that hot.
He expresses he has been making music for a long time. The seeds of time can be seen with the reference to new Verizon product cell phones having bars, and him having bars since Verizon payphones. The next lines I bring you also come from the Simon Says Freestyle. First, we get these lines.
How you claim to be ill when your career ain't never seen a sequel?
It's a shot at the new age rappers that have their 15 minutes of fame with their 1 or 2 albums and then fall off. And then he gives us these lines.
Niggas ain't playing you when they beats pill.
Once the original fame of these new age rappers is gone, they will be forgotten and not played, where real music from real rappers will live on forever. And then he gives us these lines.
I can touch live through the speaker, 3D skills.
Through the emotions and concept, Hopsin has told his life story through his music. And people who are his fans talk about how much his music has influenced their lives. How much influence do club, party, drinking, and drug tracks have on people? And then he gives us these lines.
Stop it, boy. I'm on a roll like TV film.
Hopsin started as a YouTube rapper over 11 years ago and kept releasing music that was different and talked about real situations in life which fans connected with. To every release he made, he would grow extensively. So he is on a roll. Never release anything not worthy of approval of his fans. But like TV film, he is on a roll, getting non-stop watch time on his videos. We'll move on to a couple of lines from the Hopsin song Picasso, where the Pinocchio line in episode 1 came from.
He losing control like I was the Holy Ghost. When I deliver the penis, it lies in the mouth. She call it Pinocchio.
First, he gives us these lines.
Hollywood, Hollywood, or how I fucking love you.
Anyone who knows Hopsin and his music and his work knows how he views the mainstream of music and how true skills are not recognized and distributed. Then we get,
I cannot seem to break through from this curse that I've been stuck to.
Hopsin has a love and hate for the fame he has attained. And as much love as he receives from his fans, he receives just as much hate from the mainstream and mainstream rap. And mainstream rap fans who think the radio rappers are the greatest out there. Then he gives us,
I came in as a little man, but now my fucking nuts grew.
11 years ago when he released his first video, he gained an amazing response, rapping, trying to shock his audience. Today he gets tens of millions of views on his music. And then he gives us these lines.
Today's the day our ties are finally cut loose. Fuck you.
Hopsin had a breakdown of sorts and quit making music for a while. He released a song called I Don't Want It No More, and that was the last anyone heard from him until more recently, when we found he was on a journey to find himself and his true purpose when he released a video called I'm Good. He explained how he is in Thailand, relaxing his mind and thoughts and fixing problems he has had over the years with his own mentality. And then he gives us these lines.
I've been told the new game plans to make bullshit for the new age fans.
Referencing the trash rap music that gets approved and put on the radio for others to discover, which is nowhere near as good as it could be. And then he gives us these lines.
That you can't populous, you take Zans and flex on the gram like you do make bands. What?
Referencing here, if true or not, how most rappers put in the spotlight are glorifying the use of illegal prescription drugs. And the thought it is planned that way to promote to the youth, if true, needs to be stopped. And then he gives us these lines.
Oh no. They like fuck boom bap rap, you can't win. Say that shit for the Wu-Tang Clan.
You can't win referencing the message Hopsin gets from the mainstream of music. Save that for the Wu-Tang Clan is pointing out how the mainstream has buried real rap, like the greats from the building of the genre. And then we get this great line. And I can just see it actually happening and picture it in my mind every time he says it.
That's when I bust in like the Kool-Aid man. Yeah.
And with the great line there of making himself known to the mainstream by breaking down the walls they have put up in turn to create the barrier between the mainstream and the underground music, busting through them like the Kool-Aid man and not caring.
Cosmos, got it locked on, bitch I'm Pablo Picasso.
Now we will move on from Hopsin and highlight some bars from Hater Players by Blackstar. I love Mos Def, but I chose a couple Talib Kwali lines. Let's go. First, he gives us these lines.
I'm sick of these hater players. Bring on the regulator.
Here, Talib Kwali is paying homage to Warren G and the song Regulators, in turn to have the regulators take out the haters. And then he gives us this.
This with the flavors ain't the farm team, fucking with the majors like
saying most haters are less skilled rappers trying to get into the big leagues and becoming known through other rappers' fan bases, which actually see them as not good enough. And then we get
the river, how I run through it, I do it so cold.
He flows his way through all the haters who have anything to say, like a river, and he does it with no mercy and skill. And then he gives us these lines.
Freezing up your body, the fluid just dials old.
The sick, cold flow he spits will cause you to freeze up and have no comeback, in turn, choking in battle. These next lines I have loved since high school. The way he forms these lines and expresses exactly what he wants without saying it is genius. First, he gives us this line.
You're with the quickness, so swift you miss this lyrical fitness.
He is saying here that his style and flow is too quick and smart for you, because you are just listening. If you put in work and studied his lyrics, it would be a workout for you. And then he gives us this line.
Get this, these MCs want to test me like litmus. Bear witness.
Here with the metaphor of MCs testing him like litmus, he is talking about litmus paper, which is used in chemistry to find the pH balance of a liquid. A great metaphor. And then he gives us this line.
I'm like shot clocks, interstate cops, and blood clots.
He says three things here, all unrelated except by one thing they have in common. And then we get this line.
My point is your flow gets stopped.
And his last line here explains exactly what those three things had in common. Shot clocks stop the flow of a player, interstate cops stop the flow when you're driving and they pull you over, and blood clots also stop the flow of blood. All right, that's all I got for Talib Kwali. For now, we'll move on to some King Iso. The first song is a quick one from F.A.M, or Get the Fuck Away From Me. This verse was cut from episode 1, so I wanted to add it again. It's just a short one. So first we get this.
They'll hate on you everywhere. If you dropping tight tracks, you know how many motherfuckers out there rapping like.
So just think about those lines. So regardless of how great you are as a rapper, the better you are, the more everyone will hate on you. But in the next line where he says, you know how many motherfuckers out here rapping like trash? The second line flips us thoughts of the first line. If you stop to think about it, they'll hate on you everywhere if you're dropping tight tracks. Every artist, even if they are making trash, as it says, will be proud of their work if they do not know any better and think their trash is a tight track, receiving hate all the same and thinking it is because they are good. It kinda has a double meaning there. These next two verses come from a strange music compilation song called Greenlit. It's a Tech 9 song featuring King Iso and another artist named Mayez. So the first lines he gives us.
A lot of woofing going on from these new names lately. Don't never have a career, on 2K maybe.
So here he's pretty much saying new rappers talk a lot of shit, and they have nothing to back it up but their career stats on PlayStation. It's a nice funny line. little demeaning too to somebody trying to be a rapper. And then we get this line.
Your car would get dinner like Harvey if you're two-faced crazy. My youngins will mop you up for a blue face, baby. Ugh.
I love the way he formulates this line. It's not just with the Batman villain and all that, but just the way it's worded and formulated. The start your car refers to new rappers' faces and their car and how they will get dented like Harvey Dent, being the Two-Face villain from Batman. If you're Two-Face crazy. So new rappers who are two-faced will get their faces dented if they talk about King Iso, which would make them crazy, like the second personality of Two-Faced, Harvey Dent. In these next bars, the wordplay and metaphor references are remarkable in my opinion. So first he gives us these lines.
Bitch, please, don't get your whip Swiss cheese melted for the chips like Trick. Give me some dip, please.
So like Swiss cheese filled with holes, Iso is warning you what will happen if you mess with him. So your whip will be like Swiss cheese, filled with holes, then set on fire to melt the cheese, all for some chips, money. And then the next line he brings us.
Don't get tricked off like Roy and Sick Free. When it's 6 squeeze, I'll make M's off 16.
And these lines are in reference to how Roy Horn was attacked on stage by his tiger while performing magic. A Sig Sauer is a brand of firearms. They make a rifle called a Sig M16, which is designed after the traditional M16. I also believe the M on 16s is a reference to the murderous rhymes of 16 bars. I will end this with one more set of lines by King Iso from a Tech 9 song called Disparagement. In the future, I will be getting into some Tech 9, the #1 independent artist in the world. So first, King Iso gives us these lines.
It's crazy what her to say we're creating a narrative. I will flatten them all like the apron, no air.
I love in the first line how he ends with no air in it, and then switches it to the next line with.
In the media, maybe is airing it, and made a few errors. A desert mountain money's made a mini taking a shirt in it.
Oh yeah, I think that happens every day. And I think he is referencing a plethora of things that media reports as a way of letting people know something exists, but doesn't research if the info they report is true or not. Regardless if the information given by media is untruthful, money is still made, and people who don't know any better spread the info around to others who don't know any better, and it cycles. And then with these lines.
But it's thinking about the way that the carriers stay precarious, falling like the angel that fled and hated comparison.
Referring to the way the media affects our minds on a daily basis and affects our thinking patterns and action. In the theology of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, speaking of fallen like an angel, Satan, who fell from God's grace, not understanding why God held humans on such a high pedestal, when in comparison, as an angel, Satan was surely greater than the low humans. King Iso is still talking about how all media outlets and how they become the devil, trying to sensationalize more and outdo the other media outlets, hating comparisons to others, spreading false and incomplete truths. And then he gives us these lines. I like how these lines are formulated and the connections he puts between them.
When I think about Native Americans being named by some terrorists, I ain't saying the Arabic, homie.
Now with these lines, I'm not sure if this is supposed to make sense or if it is just some confusing wordplay that can have a few meanings. I think he is reflecting on the thought of Native American protests and the government's calling them terrorist acts, shutting down roads and things. Being named by some terrorists is thinking back through history and seeing who caused the terror to who, when you're thinking about it from the Indians' point of view. Throwing in the last part about Arabic, he is saying the Native Americans are nothing like what we refer to as terrorists. So why are we using the same word? That is all I got for episode number 3 of Similes, Metaphors, Wordplay, and Lyrics. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you get episode number 4. And you know I will be back as the beats of our heart and lyrics of our soul play on forever. Thank you for watching.
His name is on the throne, but they say I'm the heir to it. Fake ish won't fly like a cable to tearing it.
Thank you for watching.